5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome into The Clingers Have Spoken. I'm Joel. That's my brother, Michael. We're here to talk through episode 8 of season 46 of Survivor. One of the most unhinged, incredible, baffling, confusing, frustrating episodes of Survivor of television that I have seen, to be completely honest with you. Michael, what is up?
You know, you weren't expecting me to say this before we started today. You know, you probably weren't expecting this coming in, but I've mucked this podcast up so much for you, Joel, that I think you should vote me out tonight, man. I'm asking everyone to vote me out.
What are you talking about? Like, I know you weren't able to post like a video podcast a few weeks ago, but that's not worth quitting the podcast, man.
Oh my goodness, dude! Like
what you think? Like stepping aside from this podcast is gonna like help me out? You think I haven't planned for you to be in this podcast with me, Michael? Oh my gosh!
Yeah, like okay. Let's get into it, because let's give Q like the ultimate benefit of the doubt. Like, this isn't what I believe, but let's just say this was a great move by Q, because he got freaked out once he got the vote moved from Tevin. When he got the vote moved from Tevin, the vote ended up on Tiff. And then he felt really bad, even though earlier he was saying he'd be fine with voting Tiff out. He felt like, I guess, he had caused so much confusion, and that he had a revelation of, why would I vote Tiff out? The fact that Tiff told me Tevin was going home makes me trust Tiff even more. And he realized, why am I switching everything around and now Tiff is going home? This isn't what I want. So what I'll do at Tribal is I will throw everything into chaos by telling everyone to vote for me. And then the vote will probably end up on like Venus or back on Tevin.
Which is crazy, because we have seen Jeff in that scenario be like, so you're quitting. So like, do you guys have problems with this? All right, Q's gone. Like, he has done that before. But I don't think anyone, like with those other ones, it's like people were like, okay, that makes sense. That's really annoying, but that makes sense. This was like, what? Q. What? Like, his logic made no amount of sense to me. Like, he was like, no, this is not a correct move. This is the worst. Well, I mean, if Banu wasn't on this season, this would be like the worst move of the season. like,
hey, Q is Banu's coach, man. Q is showing Banu the ropes.
This is really bad. Like, this is so bad. He has no alliances now. Who wants to work with a guy like that? You know? Like, what are you doing? Like, honestly, this alliance of 6 was gonna work until he voted out Tim. Like, that was actually gonna be a thing and work. And then he voted out Tim. And then now he's on this rampage where if anybody makes any mistake, they gotta go. Like, we've seen this the whole season. He has one conversation with Ben. He's like, no, he's gotta go. He has one conversation with Mariah. No, she's gotta go. Like, it's like, Q, you can't, like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, Hunter made a mistake by winning hide and seek. What are you talking about? Like, Q, like, have you ever seen A Beautiful Mind?
I think so.
Okay, it's the movie
I was
where
like asleep half of it.
It's the movie where the guy thinks that he's like, some CIA is trying to contact him because he solves puzzles. and he's trying to find these patterns in like newspapers and magazines. That's what Q is doing right now. And then he was like, okay, I messed up, so I deserve to go home. What? Like I don't know
his
about
philosophy, his philosophy of like, if I'm out of the game, everybody can just like play hard and like go hard. It's like you're messing up like 8 people's game at least. Like maybe 2 or 3 people will be happy to see you go.
Right. Like, just it didn't make any sense. Like, just play. Like, not everybody was playing before. Like, his game was so advanced, and then he like that no one else could win, and then he finally messed up. Like, dude, what are you? So I want to give some redemption to Jelensky. Jelensky said in his post interview, he said Q said he wanted to quit first. Like that sounds a lot more plausible now.
That's like half of what Q's done this season. You should say, you should vote me out. That's like every other episode he says that.
And it's so crazy because we didn't get like a single heads up about it. You know? Like we saw him on his first tribe say that kind of thing, but then we got his like testimonial, confessional, and he was just like, yeah, I don't actually mean that. Like, come on. Like, I'm just hoping that Kenzie thinks that. This is just like, there's no strategy in this at all. This is just a breakdown.
Chaos. Chaos was his strategy tonight.
If that's the strategy, he won. That's great for him. But, oh my gosh. I was getting, like, literally the whole episode had me locked in. Like, what an incredible cast this is. I love this cast. We see Liz actually gun for somebody and have weight in the game.
Big night for Liz.
Like, we have people that I like. There's not one person on this tribe that I don't like, you know? Like, me and Venus, like, wouldn't hang out, but, like, she's really fun to watch on television, you know? It's like, this cast is amazing. And this has been the most chaotic season of Survivor, strategy-wise, in years. Like,
yeah, chaotic. Yes.
What is happening? Like, I don't even know how to put thoughts into like coherent sentences. So, I don't know. You want to try?
Yeah. So let's try and backtrack to the very beginning of the episode. See if we can just
what
take
happened
it
at the beginning,
piece by piece. So they get back from tribal council, and Q is mad that Kenzie, Tiffany, and Hunter and Ben are just having a good time at the fire. He's like, we need to be like bringing Ben into the fold right now. I'm like, brother, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it in the way that you want them to do it. Like, they're doing that around the fire right now. Like, they're doing the social thing right now. So Q's all in his feelings about that. The next morning at dawn, before dawn, he's interviewing Charlie for a spot in the Q6. Because it's not the Journey 6 anymore. We're talking about the Q6 Alliance.
Correct.
The 6 that Q is obsessed with, that he's going to make happen. And so he's bringing Charlie in, and Charlie's like, this is the shakiest alliance ever. You literally just voted out someone who's in this. Like, what? Like, he's telling Maria's, like, into it, and Charlie's like, what? This isn't real? Like, what? What are we doing here? And then Tevin and Venus have that interaction where Venus is like, no hard feelings, blah, blah, blah. Like, we need to work together, blah, blah, blah. And Tevin is like trying not to laugh at Venus because in his mind, this was 100% Tevin. This is my move. Like, right. I'm in the catbird seat now in this game because of what I did. But you think, Venus, that it's you, and that's hilarious to me. And Liz sees this, and this bothers her, and she's like, Tevin has got to go because he's purporting this confidence, and he's framing everything as if it was his move. And Venus is too, but no one believes Venus. Right. But Tevin's framing this in a way. So this is the seed planted of like Liz wants to get Tevin out. And it was awesome. Like seeing Liz have that moment of like, I feel like everything shifted.
Yes.
Like Liz was just like tiptoe through the tulips, having a good time until last episode when she was like, you saw a little flicker in her eye. She's like, yes, let's vote Soda out. I love that. And then like, I feel like she's like, okay, now we're playing Survivor. I got to get Tevin out.
Yeah. Like, whoa, that really caught me off guard that she was so put off. And honestly, like, she should be. Like, they know that, like, Liz has wanted, Soda out for forever. And, like, that was the first conversation was between Tevin and Liz. And, like, Liz probably would have suggested it if Tevin didn't. Tevin just said it first, so he claims authority. And then he could have easily just said, it was us. Like, Venus thinks this, it was us. And in his private conversations with Liz, he's saying, it's me, me, me. Me, me, me. Like, I don't need you. I didn't need anybody. That's mine. Because, like, Liz was the only person that, like, went through that alliance, like, with him and knew that information. And if he doesn't do that, like, he's fine. He's still in the game at this point. But, like, he slipped up and he just let his arrogance or, like, a moment of pride, a moment of wanting to stamp my name on something get in the way. Because really, it's upsetting me. I love Tevin. I would have loved to see him on here for a long time, And, but, like, I'm realizing, like, they're not all goats. Like, these are not goats that are left in this game. These are people that are trying to do stuff, and they all have their own agendas because they're not aligned with their tribe at all anymore, and there's no Six Alliance. Like Q voted out his own tribe twice with balloons. Like he voted out his own 6-person alliance twice. Like what?
Yeah. No.
What are you doing?
Everyone left is kind of a baller. Like, it's a good place to be. Like, the person who's maybe not a baller is Ben, but, like, nobody wants him to get to the end because they all like him so much. So he's not going to make it to the end. So there's going to be, like, 3 people there who can at least say, like, Venus might be a goat at the end, but it's not like she's a coattail rider. Like, she's going to jack your coattails up, boy. Like, she's going to go down in a blazing inferno. And so, like, the moment when there was, like, the 2 groups sitting on the beach and, like, Hunter was trying to switch it off Tevin. Like, he walked after Q told him it was Tevin, and Hunter just walked straight to that group. And it was like, Venus, don't come over here. We're going to talk about you real quick. And they're talking, and I'm like, Hunter is not really built for that type of the game. It doesn't seem like.
No.
Like, he seems he doesn't seem excited at all about things. That when they change, he just seems like stressed and annoyed. Which, like,
yes,
you're in alliance with Q, so yeah. And Hunter is the most screwed over by tonight.
Yes,
by Tevin going home. Like, Liz voted for Tevin. Q is an absolute liability. But Q's like maybe his best ally left in the game.
He's got to be, right? I mean, I think that Liz still likes Hunter, but Hunter is going to feel some type of way about that. Like, Hunter's got to be thinking, I'm on my own, which is probably why he didn't play his idol for Tevin, because, like, in my mind, like, I was surprised at how quickly Q told Hunter. Hunter immediately got up.
Well, I think there wasn't much time.
Like, And like, in my mind, if Tevin's really my number one, he's my number one. I'm giving him my idol.
Yeah.
Like, just flat out. Like, I'm gonna do it, or at least let him know, and let him use his extra vote. You know, like,
Yeah.
But he doesn't have that conversation with Tevin at all. At all.
Yeah. I mean, tonight, like, I don't know what would have happened if Hunter had, like, gone to Tevin and said, like, after all that had happened and then he went to Tevin and gave him his idol, I don't know what would have happened. But, like,
Tiff
if
would have
he
gone
had just...
home.
Yeah, like...
Unless Tiff played her idol, and then who knows?
Yeah. Like, that was crazy. Like, I kind of thought we were going to see, like, an idol out tribal. Like,
Yeah.
the way things were shaking up, I'm like, if Tiff thinks it might be her and Hunter wants to play one for Tevin, then we'll see, like, two people get saved by an idol and, like, Venus get voted out. Venus is just the person everyone's like,
You want to just switch it
let's
to
vote
Venus? Yeah. Like,
We're
it's so
saving
easy
her
them
for
to
a
say,
rainy
like,
day.
Exactly.
It's like, we'll need that vote. We'll need that easy vote someday when we want to switch things up.
yeah. I feel like over the next two episodes, like, something's going to stick. Like, the next two episodes are going to be chaos. Next week is going to be chaos. Like, for sure. Guaranteed. But I feel like at some point, some alliances are going to have to be made. Because at this point, like, legitimately, there were only 3 people, Tevin, Hunter, and Q, versus 7. And I was shocked at how quickly that 7 came together. Liz told one person, and then she told 2 more, and those people told the other people, and they were all like, bet. Yeah, let's do it. With, like, no second thoughts, like, no later conversations, like, is this what's best for us? Just like, yeah, sounds good. Cool. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that's, like, I feel like that's always the question. Like, it's like, will the people underneath the big alliance figure out that they're on the bottom? There is no bottom here. Like, there are lanes. Like, they're just people floating about and, like, just doing whatever they want to, essentially. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it's not me? Cool, great. Yeah, I'll vote for them. Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It was definitely seemed like it was like the hyenas were out tonight.
Yes.
Like in the Tony Vlachos world of, like, the lions and the hyenas. Like, tonight, and it's a bad Survivor season when the hyenas don't come out and they just let the lions devour them. And it's bad when it's just hyenas. But in this episode, you saw Charlie go to sit down with Liz and go to sit down with Kenzie, I think, and Ben. And it was like, if Charlie rounds up all of them, like, this could get spicy. I think that those people that voted for Tevin tonight, like, that might be a group for a little bit here.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
I mean,
I think those people are going to look around and say, like, Hunter is now our number 1 target. Like,
yeah.
we got to, if Hunter doesn't win immunity, like, we need to put votes on him. Make him play an idol if he has one, which I don't think they know he has it. But, like, Hunter is now got to be their number 1 target. And, like, is Q a GOAT now?
Yeah.
Like, after tonight, who's going to vote to give Q $1 million?
Nobody. But
Like,
the
he might be,
question is,
like, it might be like a Venus situation, but, like, more in your face, like, harder to put off. So they might want to vote Q out anyways because he's such a nuisance.
here's the thing. I think if that happens, though, I think Q actually quits. Like, I think he literally quits. I don't think Q will sit on the beach for another 10 days and not participate or be bossed around. Because here's the thing. You also, like, I was thinking coming into this as I was setting up, it's like Q's problem is that the people that are not aligned with him are going to want him to keep him around. And the people that are aligned with him are going to want him gone. Like, Tiffany, her one thing was she had the idol, and Q spoiled that. Q told him. Q flipped on her already. And now Q's like going up at Tribal and being like, look, you're the vote. But he didn't tell her why she's the vote because he's the one that said her name.
And Q told Maria about Tiffany's idol.
Yeah.
So now Charlie knows about that.
Yeah, and and Charlie told her that they knew in the live Tribal. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's just like it's so crazy because I think Q could last, but I think he'll quit. Like he's not going to be want to be out there to finish a no vote finalist, which is what he deserves if he makes it there at this point.
Yeah. Yeah,
which
Q's game is toast.
Yeah, which wasn't all about how I felt going into Tribal today. Just
he should have let it happen.
Yes. Either way. Either way.
Yeah. I think that Q told on himself to the camera and he said, my game is that I have to be in control. And if I'm not in control, I'm not playing Survivor the way I want to play.
Exactly.
And like, it's kind of like, you know, like playing video games growing up and like you start to lose and you're like, so you just like quit. That's what Q tried to do tonight. Like the game's not over. Like actually there's a lot of game left to be played. Like you're not even down that much. You're like, you know, you were down a touchdown and then like somebody ran a fake punt on you and got a first down and they're laughing at you. So you were just like, man, I hate this game and quit.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what Q did tonight.
Because it was kind of like, I think maybe in that moment he sensed he lost control. Like he's like, oh, if Tevin or Tiff go home, I'm kind of toast. Like this 6-person alliance is not an alliance at all that I have. And that's what I've devoted my whole game to. And like I feel like either way with that, how that vote comes down, you're going to be able to salvage something, you know? If it is Tevin, you were honest with everybody and Hunter's still your ally. If it was Tiff, she doesn't know that you blew up her game. Like,
yeah.
I think, okay, here's an observation. Maybe he just hung out too much with Banu, you know? Like maybe the Banu juice just like rubbed off on Q a little bit from their tribe before. Because Banu definitely wasn't holding any secrets. Maybe Q was like, maybe this is just how New Survivor is. I think I'm just going to tell everybody that I should go home. Or that like, you know, it's like, what? Wow.
I mean, Q's self-destruction tonight, to psychoanalyze it, could be like if I can't be in control, like nobody.
Nobody.
Like I'm gonna blow everyone's game up. Like that's what's gonna happen tonight.
That's the mindset. So he's been telling us in his like confessionals all season, if you're not playing Q's game, you're not gonna win this one. You're gonna get voted out. Like in his mind, I'm gonna cancel
Christmas.
In his mind, this is my game. This is my game. Period. And it's honestly, it was working pretty well, which is crazy because it never does. But it was working until he just got too bold and paranoid at the same time. And man, that's a bad combo. Like, wow. It's so silly that we're spending so much time talking about this because up until that moment, this episode was amazing. Was so good. Like it was like Strategy was being had, like things were happening. The hide and seek game was awesome. They did the hanging challenge, and no one volunteered to get rice. Like
Claps
this
for that.
episode was so incredible, and it was doing things that I've been begging people to do for seasons by not like volunteering for the rice. We always see a person go home that volunteers for the rice. You know? Like,
Yeah, the rice thing is so stupid. Jeff needs to let that go, man.
right.
It's so
Be
dumb.
competitive. You know? Like, and it's just, man. Like, oh, wow. Just a complete wrench in the system. The Q just says, vote me out. Like, couldn't believe it. I was like 17 minutes for tribal. That's pretty long. But I was thinking, like, well, there's probably just going to be an idol played. Nope. Not at all.
Nope. I mean, like, we didn't see it coming, but also, like, we should have seen that coming all season. They've been showing Q saying, like, y'all should vote me out tonight. Like,
He's
he
only
has
said that, like,
at
twice.
half the tribals he's been at.
No, he said it at like one tribal, and he didn't really mean it because he knew he wasn't going to go home. This one,
Like, maybe he knew he wasn't going to go home tonight.
yeah, but that's crazy. That's crazy.
Like, he's, like, that's his move. That's his thing. Like, he's Q. Like, he says, vote me out. And it, like, the larger the scale, like, the more havoc comes from it.
Oh,
Like, the fact that, like, Jeff didn't say, does everybody okay with Q going home? Like, maybe it was a move. Maybe Q told production, like, I'm going to say I want everyone to vote for me and see what happens.
watch this.
Like, just watch the chaos come through.
Oh, what in the world? Oh my gosh. Yeah. And wow. Because before tonight, it was, I said last week it was like 3-3-3 in Venus. No, now it's like maybe
It's
Liz and
one
Hunter.
verse one verse one verse one verse one verse one verse one.
Exactly. Like Maria and Charlie are a pair. And Kenzie and Tiff are a pair. But Ben's linked to Kenzie and to Charlie. Liz is connected to Venus and to Hunter. Hunter and Q are maybe tight still.
No, dude, Hunter cannot deal with this, man. Hunter, like, the only way he deals with it is if he doesn't have a choice, and he might not. Like, he might not have a
Exactly.
choice. But Hunter is, like, done. Like, done. Like, they kept showing Hunter's face at the tribal, and he just looked like like he was so done. It looked like he was like a youth minister, like on the last night at church camp, and like something terrible just happened, and he was just like, seriously, guys? Seriously?
Yeah.
We're doing this right now? We were so close.
Like some kid
We were
just hurt
so
another
close to
kid
getting home.
by like horsing around, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And we went through like our rankings or whatever of like who we thought could win last week. I mean, I think Charlie is definitely the most powerful person in this game right now. And I don't know if people know that.
No.
Which I think that he kind of fumbled the bag by telling Tiff that Q told them, because then it's like, oh, they're like in this more than I thought. Maybe that's how I would view it. Like, Charlie is an extremely likable guy. We want to talk about Ben being a likable guy. Everybody on that tribe seems to trust Charlie implicitly. Like, Tevin and Soda both last week were like, Charlie's loyal. But it's like, if you're saying that, and that's how everyone else is reading Charlie, that's bad. Right? Like if everyone
Yeah.
likes and trusts Charlie, that's bad. but I don't know if they figure that out. I do love
Well,
Charlie's
yeah.
silence and looks at the camera all the time, though. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I loved him walking in the booth today and just being like,
Yeah. Like, Charlie on a different season, I think, would be seen for the threat that he is.
yeah,
But he's been overshadowed by some loons and, like, big personalities. And
Yeah.
so, like, Charlie was, like, available to get voted out at the Mergatory vote.
yeah,
And they didn't vote for him. I thought, like, he was by far the biggest threat that was available to be voted for there. And then at the 6-6, like, he should have gotten voted out.
yeah,
But he didn't. And, like, the fact that, like, Tevin is on the season and Q is on the season and Hunter's on the season. Like, Hunter's a big immunity threat.
huge.
But guess who's, like, the immunity threat right under Hunter? It's Charlie.
Right.
But, like, you can only see Hunter right now for that. Then there's Tevin, who's, like, the big social threat. But if Tevin's not there, like, who's the big social threat? Well, you would see that it's Charlie, except for the fact that Q is sucking up all the air at camp.
Yeah, and so
And people just want to work with a sane player.
and
like
I think
Charlie.
I think I wouldn't say social, I'd say strategic, because Charlie's not necessarily making moves. Like, people are just not voting him out, and they need his vote, so they're going and talking to him, and he's just listening and not screwing up.
Well, he's making moves because he has options. Every vote he and Maria have had options.
And they only
On how
have
they
those
wanna vote.
options because of how horrible some of the other people are playing
Yeah.
around them.
But, like, that's the game. Like, you can't make a move if you don't have options, because making a move is like, I could have done one thing and I did the other thing.
Yeah.
And so, like, they are making, like, subtle moves. Like, they're kind of drafting through the game behind other people who are pooping their pants out there, like Q tonight.
Yeah.
So I still think it would be hard for Charlie to win. Like, how do you get down to, like, 5 or 6 people and not see Charlie as the biggest threat left? Like, I think that's where the game's going to get really hard for him.
Well, so much of his game is like in individual relationships with people that are not public. You know? Like, I feel like in past seasons where, like, this person's rocking in this alliance and they're the most likable out of the alliance. You know, or they're in the middle of their alliance. Charlie is just, like, talking with people and working with different people every time. And it's not like he's in a big group unless he gets drawn into the big six for no reason. Like, I just feel like he's having a lot of individual conversations. Now, also, I'm not ready to say Charlie's the winner. I do think he has the most power in the game right now, but, like, these women are, like, players. Like Kenzie knows what she's doing. Like, hearing her conversation with Ben, wow. Like, and then Tiff and Liz, Venus, like, I think Venus has a chance to win the game. I think that would be a crazy story if, like, she goes into the merge with no allies and she makes it to the end and she's on the right side on most votes. Like, there are going to be people on the jury being like, yeah, why not? I don't know. Q just dropped out of that list completely for me. I don't think Q's got a shot in the world. Everybody else, like, I don't know. I think Kenzie might have the best chance to win the game right now.
Kenzie has a good chance. I think Charlie, Maria, Kenzie, that's kind of the three. But, like, it really seems to me like Charlie and Maria are voting the way that Charlie wants to.
Yeah.
Like breaking with the 6 tonight, like that seems like something Charlie wanted to do.
Yeah.
I don't see them as like an equally yoked pair in the game. Like I think Charlie's I could see like gets down to 6, 7, and then Charlie wins like 3 straight immunities. Like he's smart. He's a former D1 collegiate athlete. Like he can do this. Like he was on that pole for a long time today too.
Yeah.
Like if there's someone who's going to beat Hunter at an immunity challenge, like it's probably Charlie.
Yeah.
So Charlie got the women at the Mergatory, that group of women, like put the team on his back and got them as far as they got.
But like the women also did really well themselves. Like I was watching that challenge, I was shocked at how fluently they all did that. Whereas like after the first stage, they were winning. You know, like after they ran through the mud, they were ahead of the other tribe, like of the bigger guys.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
I don't want to say like Charlie is so much like more physical, because I'm sure that like Kinsey will win another challenge or Tiff will, or you know, who knows what endurance or puzzle thing they have going on that like Charlie won't win. But
yeah.
Oh my gosh, wow.
I thought Kenzie would do better today in the challenge than she did.
Me too. Yeah.
But
shout out Hunter falling, like making Jeff think that he passed out on the pole. That dude's way too good at Survivor challenges. And yeah, like he's just showing off at this point.
Yeah. Like he didn't build the pole in his backyard, probably, right? I mean, maybe he did.
He probably found something and hung off of something, right? Like,
yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Man. All right. Well, we have a couple minutes left. Anything else on just an absolutely amazing and maddening episode of Survivor?
Q skirt.
Q skirt.
Q skirt.
What a bad idea.
The way that they were like putting Q in front of your face for the first 20 minutes of the episode, I was like, this might be Q's time. They're trying to like soak up all that last good Q content and give it to us before he's out. And he wasn't. The best Q content, though, in the last week was Q giving his breakdown of all of the tribe that was released as a secret scene.
Yes.
So
if you have not seen that,
go to my Twitter, Michael Likes Pod.
Go to Michael Likes Pod. It's crazy. A bunch of misreads. So many. Like, someone is compared to Tony Vlachos, and you will not believe who is compared to Tony Vlachos. So, yeah. All right. We have about a minute left. Who do you have winning the NBA playoffs?
Nuggets.
I'm going to go Celtics. Got to go Celtics.
I think the Nuggets, Celtics should get through the Eastern Conference easily. I think the Nuggets are less likely to make the finals than the Celtics. But I'm not picking against Jokic and Murray and all those guys again. That they're too good. They proved it last year.
Yeah. Well, that's it. What a wonderful episode of Survivor. And we hope for the same next week. Hopefully Q doesn't bail out of Tribal, but we will see you then.
If Q tells people to vote for him again, we're going to cancel Christmas.
But we're not canceling the pod. So we'll see you next week. As for Michael, I'm Joel. We're the Clingers. We just spoke about episode 8 of Survivor, season 46. Bye, guys.
See ya.